Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, June 30th, 2022. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's Major League Baseball, WNBA, Major League Soccer games, look ahead to today's games in each sport. Wimbledon from yesterday, look ahead to today's Wimbledon matches. We'll look at the early leaderboard at the John Deere Classic. We'll go over the primary results from Tuesday, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start with Major League Baseball. We'll go over the results of the games and look ahead to today's games. Some interesting results, to say the least, in Major League Baseball. Brewers over the Rays 5-3, Yankees over the A's 5-3, Pirates over the Nats 8-7, Astros over the Mets 2-0, Royals over the Rangers 2-1, Padres over the D-backs 4-0, Tigers over the Giants 3-2, Mariners over the Orioles 9-3, Braves over the Phillies 4-1, Red Sox over the Blue Jays 6-5-10, Guardians over the Twins 7-6-10, Marlins over the Cardinals 4-3, Cubs over the Reds 8-3, Dodgers over the Rockies 8-4. So best bet a loser. Angels over the White Sox 4-1. Now I look ahead to today's window of games. Only 8 games. It's not a lot. 1 o'clock you have the Twins and the Guardians. Chris Archer and Shane Bieber. You would assume the Guardians are favored in this game, and they are. They're minus 156. The Twins are plus 132. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Twins plus 1.5 is minus 162. Guardians minus 1.5 is plus 134. I'm going to go at the under. 6 o'clock, Phillies. Ian Anderson and Aaron Nola. Phillies minus 158, Braves plus 134, over under 8.5, overs minus 108, unders minus 112. Braves plus 1.5 is minus 166, Phillies minus 1.5 is plus 138. I'm going to go with the under. Yankees Astros, rematch from last weekend of Luis Severino and Luis Garcia. Yanks minus 130, Astros plus 110, over under 7.5, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Yankees minus 1.5 is plus 134, Astros plus 1.5 is minus 162. I am going to go with the over in this game. I don't feel good about it. Pirates hosting the Brewers at 7. Adrian Hauser and J.D. Brubaker. Brewers minus 122. Pirates plus 104. Over under 9. Minus 110 trade. Brewers minus 1.5 is plus 120. Pirates plus 1.5 is minus 144. Kind of like the over in this game. Don't feel super about it, though. Rays Blue Jays. Jeffrey Springs and Yusei Kikuchi. I don't know why this game isn't posted. But if the Rays are a dog, they're the pick. 8 o'clock, Reds Cubs. Graham Ashcraft and Kyle Hendricks. Hendricks minus 124, Reds plus 106, over under 10, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Reds plus 1.5 is minus 192, Cubs minus 1.5 is plus 158. I'm going to go with the Reds plus 106 as a road underdog. 10 o'clock, you have the A's at the Mariners. You got Adrian Martinez and Logan Gilbert. Seattle's minus 235, A's plus 194, over under 7.5, overs minus 104, unders minus 118. A's plus 1.5 and Seattle minus 1.5 is minus 110 each way. I'm going to lay the minus 110 with the Mariners on the run line. And on Fox Sports 1, you have the Padres and the Dodgers. Great series. Joe Musgrove and Mitch White. Dodgers minus 136, Padres plus 116, over under 7.5, overs minus 118, unders minus 102. Padres plus 1.5 is minus 184, Dodgers minus 1.5 is plus 150. I do like San Diego on the money line plus 116. My number for even money on the money line is 47.5, and it's beyond that. So I kind of like the Padres to beat the Dodgers tonight at Chesser V at plus 116. Okay, now move on to the WNBA. We'll recap the games from yesterday and look ahead to today's games. Sky over the Sun, 91-83 in a Quisters Cup game. Mercury over the Fever 99-78, and the Storm over the Aces 88-78 in the Commissioner's Cup game. Only one game tonight. 7 o'clock on Twitter, you have the Dream at the Liberty. The Liberty have turned it around. The Dream are 8-11. The Liberty are 8-10. Liberty got off the bad start, and they really turned it around. They're 4.5-point favorites at home, and the total is 160.5. I'm going to take the over. I do want to take the Liberty too, but if there's a same game parlay on here, I would go lay the points of the Liberty and take the over, but money line would probably be the safer play, but I do like over 160.5 at minus 115. All right, now I'll move on to Major League Soccer. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today's matches. Cincinnati and NYCFC 4-4 draw. Columbus over Toronto 2-1. Chicago over Philly 1-0. Montreal over Seattle 2-1. Minnesota over LA Galaxy 3-2. LAFC over Dallas 3-1. And Portland over Houston 2-1. 7 o'clock, you have Charlotte hosting Austin. Interesting match. Charlotte's plus 115 at home. Austin's plus 210. Draw plus 230. I'm going to go with Charlotte at home. And 8 o'clock, you have the Red Bulls hosting Atlanta. The Red Bulls are minus 145. The Atlanta's plus 340. Draw plus 270. I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at plus 108 for my pick for that one. All right, now I'll move on to the Wimbledon. We'll go over the second round results from yesterday and look ahead to today's matches. We'll start with the men's. 5 seed Carlos Alcaraz over Talon Griekspoor in 3 sets. 20 seed John Isner over Andy Murray in 4 sets. Tim Van Rijthoven upsets 15 seed Riley Opelka in 4 sets. 30 seed Tommy Paul over Adrian Manarino in 3 sets. Jiri Vesely over Alejandro David Fokina in 5 sets. 10 seed Jannik Sinner over Mikel Yamur in 4 sets. 22 seed Nicolas Basilashvili over Quentin Hellis in 4 sets. 9 seed Cam Norrie over Jaume Munar in 3 sets. Alexander Bublik over Dusan Lajovic in 3 sets. 32 seed Oscar Ott over Chris Harrison in 1 set and a walkover. 1 seed Novak Djokovic over Thanasi Kokkinakis in 3 sets. David Goffin over 31 seed Sebastian Baez in 3 sets. Hugo Humbert over 3 seed Casper Ruud in 4 sets. 23 seed Francis Tiafoe over Maximilian Martyr in 3 sets. Steve Johnson over Ryan Pennison in 3 sets. And 25 seed Milmar Kekmanovic over Alejandro Tobio in 4 sets. All right, going on right now. There's a couple finals, so we'll do the finals first. Daniel Galán over 17 seed Roberto Batista Agut in a walkover. Wonder what happened to Batista. Nick Kyrgios upsets 26 seed Filip Krajinovic in 3 sets. 21 seed Botic van Zandschulp over Emil Ruusuvuori in 4 sets. Richard Gasquet over Mackenzie McDonald in 4 sets. 11 seed Taylor Fritz over Alistair Gray in 3 sets. And Alex Molcan over Marcos Giron in 3 sets. Going on right now, you have Christian Gardner and Hugo Greener in the first set. I would think Garner's going to win that. I'm going to say in potentially 3 or 4, but I'm going to go with 4 to be safe. Liam Brody and 12 seed Diego Schwartzman. Brody wins the first set. Schwartzman's up in the second set. I think Schwartzman in 4. Jordan Thompson and Stefano Tsitsipas. I think Tsitsipas is going to win that in 3. 27 seed Lorenzo Sonego and Hugo Gaston. Sonego looks like he's going to win that in 3. All right, couple more second round matches to come. Ricardas Barinkis and 2 seed Rafael Nadal. I'm saying Nadal in 3. 13 seed Denis Shapovalov and Brandon Nakashima would go Shapovalov in 3. Maxime Cressy and Jack Sock. We're going to go with Cressy in 5. Benjamin Bonzi and 29 seed Jensen Brooksby. We're going to go Let's go Bonzi in 4, upset. Dennis Novak and Jason Kubler, we go Novak in 4. And 19 seed Alex Demeanor and Jack Draper, we go Demeanor in 3. All right, now we'll look at the women's second round results from yesterday. Look ahead to today's second round. Go over what's happened so far on the women's side today. Kaja Juvan over Dalma Galfi in 2 sets. Heather Watson over Wang Qiang in 2 sets. 3 seed Ons Jabeur over Katarzyna Kawa in 2 sets. 5 seed Maria Sakkari over Victoria Tomova in 2 sets. Arena Camila Bayu over Elizaveta Correcerado in 2 sets. 28 seed Allison Risk over Maja Cholinska in 3 sets. Diane Perry over Maya Hantamama in 2 sets. 15 seed Angelique Kerber over Magdalena in 2 sets. Caroline Garcia over 10 seed Emma Raducanu in 2 sets. Marie Buskova over An Lee in 2 sets. Harriet Dart over Rebecca Masarova in 2 sets. 12 seed Jelena Ostapenko over Yanina Wickmeyer in 2 sets. Tajana Maria over 26 seed Serrana Ceresa in 3 sets. 8 seed Jessica Pegula over Donna Vetchik in 2 sets. Julie Niemeyer upsets 2 seed Nanette Kontaveit in 2 sets. Sui Zhang over Marta Kostrick in 2 sets. Your 33 seed Zhang. And Lizia Sarenko upsets 29 seed Analia Kanelia in 2 sets. All right, today we have a couple finals. 24 seed Elise Mertens over Pana Udvardi in 3 sets. Quen Zhang over Greet Minin in 2 sets. 25 seed Petra Kvitova over Anna Bogdan in 2 sets. 4 seed Paula Badosa over Arena Barra in 2 sets. Aljo Tomčević over Catherine Harrison in 2 sets. And Elise Cornet over Claire Liu in 2 sets. Going on right now, you have 8 seed Jessica Pegula and Harriet Dart. Dart has the lead, but I'm going to say Pegula in 2. Viktorija Golubic in 13 seed Barbora Krejcikova. I'm going to say Krejcikova in 2. 32 seed Sarah Sorribes Tormo and Harmony Tan. We're going to show Sorribes Tormo in 3. You have Katie Bolter in 6 seed Carolina Pliskova. I'd say Pliskova closes out in 2. She's up 1-0 right now. And Bianca Andreescu in 17 seed Elena Rabinka. Rabinka wins the first. I'm going to say this goes straight and Rabikina pulls it out. The rest for today, Petra Martic and Kristina Kukova. We're going to go Martic in 3. Magdalena French and Anna Carolina Schmidlova. We're going to go Schmidlova in 2. 1 seed Iga Swiatek and Leslie Kirkov. We're going to go Swiatek in 2. Lauren Davis and 20 seed Amanda Anisimova. We're going to go Anisimova in 3. 11 seed Coco Gauff and Mihaela Bizarnescu. We're going to go Gauff in 2. And Kristen Flipkins and 16 seed Simona Halep. We're going to go Halep in 2. All right, now we're going to go over the current leaderboard for the John Deere Classic. It just got underway. Should be a fun tournament. So, early tie for first at 2 under. Maverick McNeely, Scott Stallings, Cam Davis, Nate Lashley, Richie Rensky, Pat Gazier, Vincent Whaley. Tied for 8th with 1 under. Bo Van Pelt, Jason Hadley, Cam Champ, JT Potson, Morgan Hoffman, Ricky Barnes, Martine Laird, Chad Ramey, Kevin Stroman, and Rory Sabatini. Tied for 18th at even. Now I'm going to just go through notables because we don't have a lot of time today. Brandon Hagee, Alex Molly, Emiliano Grillo, Brandon Haas, DA Points, Matt Thompson, or Michael Thompson, Robert Streb, Adam Cook, Sam Ryder, Dylan McCarthy, Vincent Taylor, James Hahn, Adam Putnam. Tied for 41st with 1 over Taylor Moore, Wesley Bryant, Cromer Hickok, Adam Shank, Nate Taylor, Chester V, Nate Watney, and tied for 49th with 2 over Andrew Landry is in that tie, and the rest of the golfers have not had their tee times yet. All right, now I'm going to look at the primary results from Tuesday night. So we'll start with New York, which was obviously the big one for gubernatorial. And a couple of other big states had some big ones as well. So we'll start with New York governor. So Kathy Hochul wins the Democratic primary, 67.8% of the vote with 95% counted. And your Republican winner is there it is. Lee Zeldin, who was the favorite to win this primary, running away pretty much. And then Senate for New York, Charles Schumer and Joe Pinion obviously win those. Another one that we have to look at is Colorado. That was another one that went down on Tuesday. So your Senate winner, Joseph O'Dea, 54.5% of the vote, 91% counted for Senate. For governor, your winner was Heidi Ganahl, who I believe I predicted to win that race, and she had 53.8% of the vote with 91% counted. Secretary of State for Colorado, Anderson wins at 43.1% of the vote. A couple big House results for Colorado: 2, 3, 5, 7, and 8. So, District 3, Frisch wins at 43.1% of the vote, and Boebert wins at 65.6% of the votes. District 5, Torres wins with 54.6% of the vote, and Lamborn wins at 47.4% of the vote. District 7, Peterson wins uncontested, a Democrat, and then Adlon wins 47.9% of the vote on the Republican side. And then District 8, Caraveo wins uncontested on the Democrat side, and Kirkmeyer wins 39% on the Republican side. Oklahoma had a couple big ones, gubernatorial, U.S. Senate Special, and 2nd Congressional District. Governor winning Republican primary was Stitt with 69.1% of the vote, and then Hofmeister with 60.7% of the vote. The Senate unexpired term, Mullen and Shannon. Mullen with 43.6% and Shannon with 17.5% of the vote will end up in a runoff, and then Horn wins unopposed. Republican primary for Senate, Langford wins with 67.8% of the vote, and the Democratic Party will be in a runoff. Horn's 37.2 and Bollinger 16.8. And then House District 2, Andrews goes uncontested. And then there will be a runoff of the Republican between Fricks with 14.7% of the vote and Breachin with 13.8% of the vote. In Mississippi, we had 2 Republican primary runoffs. District 3, Guest wins over Cassidy, 67.7% of the vote. And in District 4, Easel wins over the incumbent Palazzo with 53.7% of the vote. And last but not least, for primaries, Illinois, which was a huge one that took place. Gubernatorial we'll start there. The Republican primary, the winner was Darren Bailey, 57.7% of the vote, and the Democratic primary, the winner was incumbent Pritzker, so he gets 91.8% of the vote. In a couple of House congressional districts to look at as well. District 6, Democrat winner Caston, 67.8% of the vote, and then Republican winner Pacow at 38.8%. The 11th district, Democrat Foster uncontested and Republican Loft wins 31.1% of the vote. 13, Budzinski wins the Democratic side with 75.8% of the vote, and then the Republican Deering has a 1.6 percentage lead at 34.7% of the vote over over Rising at 33.1%. District 15, Lang wins the Democratic side uncontested, and Republican Miller, 57.6% of the vote. And in District 17, Sorensen wins the Democratic one, 37.9% of the vote. And then Republican goes to King at 68.7% of the vote. So there are a lot of huge ones that we had to go over today. All right, news and notes time. Going to try to be quick with news and notes here. Kemba Walker to be a free agent as the Pistons buy him out. A big trade happened in the NBA yesterday after I recorded the segment of the offseason predictions. DeJounte Murray is traded to the Atlanta Hawks for Danilo Gallinari, 3 first-round picks unprotected, and a pick swap. That is a massive overpay for the Atlanta Hawks. A massive overpay. I mean, it's a great fit. I like him and Trey together. But I think that was a massive overpay for a guy that broke out last year. And, I mean, what are the chances that he's the Julius Randle of point guards if you're Atlanta? That's why New York probably should have traded Julius Randle last offseason. Like, trade him off the career year. I wonder if Popovich thought about that in the process. But what a haul back. And then obviously the Spurs are in the 2023 Tankapalooza. But I do love the trade for San Antonio. But I like the fit with Atlanta. But I just think they gave up way too much in that trade. And Zach Lowe says on his podcast or in a tweet, teams are very, very hesitant to do this in terms of trading unprotected first-round picks. And Greg Popovich gave his blessing on the Murray trade and is committed to coaching the Spurs next season. James Harden declines his $47.4 million option as he plans to return on a contract that gives Philly financial flexibility to bolster the roster. And Bradley Beal declines his $36.4 million option as he can sign a 4-year deal with a new team or return to the Wiz on a 5-year deal. Mo Bamba to become an unrestricted free agent, as the Magic are not expected to extend a qualifying offer. A random trade in the NBA yesterday morning. The Denver Nuggets acquire Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Ish Smith from the Washington Wizards for Monte Morris and Will Barton. Interesting trade for both sides. I like it for Denver because KCP is a good three-point shooter. And the idea of him, Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Jokic together is a wonderful fivesome in Denver. And Ish Smith could be a good backup guard to come off the bench. And meanwhile, on the other side, Monte Morris, they could either start him or have him come off the bench. And then Will Barton, does Washington move him again, or is he a starter now on the Wiz? So that's interesting. I like it better for Denver, but I don't really mind it for the Wiz either. There'll be an NBA preseason game in the Sonics Old Arena on October 3rd between the Clippers and the Trailblazers, so that should be interesting. 2022 College Basketball Hall of Fame. The headliners are Roy Williams and Jim Calhoun. So that is great news for them. Two guys that deserve it so much. And a couple other people, former players, Larry Miller, Frank Selfke, Jimmy Walker, Lon Kruger, Jerry Krause, Richard Hamilton, and John Beilein. So that is a great class of 2022 for the College Basketball Hall of Fame. Shohei Ohtani really has been a highlight reel this year. So he's on a 21.2 straight scoreless inning streak. So that's something to keep an eye out for baseball. Mark Appel makes his MLB debut after pitching a scoreless ninth inning for the Phillies. That is amazing. Rob Manfred says automated balls and strikes will likely debut in 2024, and the league wants to expand to 32 teams, which is great. I would love to see Major League Baseball expand to 32, and I want to see the NBA also expand to 32 teams. So then each league would each have 32 teams. Miles Bridges arrested for felony domestic violence in Los Angeles. That is not great news for Miles Bridges. Wonder if that's going to cost some money in the free agent market, potentially. Amani Bates to transfer to Eastern Michigan as he's leaving Memphis to transfer to his hometown school. I don't like that move for him at all. If I were Bates, I would transfer to, Kentucky or something like that, so you could be able to be more showcased. Kareem Hunt feels 100% as he's feeling healthy after dealing with injuries last year and wants contract extension. So we'll see if the Browns are willing to do that. There was a scary collision in the Astros-Mets game as Yordan Alvarez was carted off the field and Jeremy Pena was out after they collide in the outfield tracking a fly ball. Jazz Chisholm Jr. to the injured list with the back injury. That's brutal for the Marlins. Ronald Acuna will return to the Braves lineup potentially on Friday, so that's good news. Or today. David Roberts is very optimistic that Mookie Betts will return before the All-Star break in the DH role, so that is good news for the Dodgers. Jalen Brunson expected to talk with the Mavericks, Knicks, and Heat when free agency opens, despite assumption he's going to New York. So we'll find out. And all I got to say is if he does not go to the Knicks, get ready for same old Knicks. And this is and they couldn't even get like a B-level free agent and all that hot mess media talk. Nazem Kadri wants to return to Colorado, but feels that he's shown what his worth is. So we'll see where he ends up. He's going to end up on a good team. And how about this? The Minnesota Wild trade Kevin Fiala to the Los Angeles Kings for a 2022 first-round pick and prospect Brock Faber. I love this trade for LA. I love it. LA is really going for it. One last kick at the can with Jonathan Quick and Anze Kopitar and Drew Doughty. And meanwhile, Minnesota, are they trying to parlay assets to get another goalie because they know that Marc-Andre Fleury is out? So part of me wonders about that as well from a Minnesota standpoint. I don't like it for Minnesota unless if they know they're getting somebody with in another trade. But I love it for Los Angeles. No really interesting non-sports news. So we'll just move on to the best bet of the day. Brought to you by FanDuel. There's not that many great options out there for best bet. But there's a couple baseball ones that I did like. So I'm going to go with, I don't feel super duper excited about this one, but I'm going to do Mariners run line -1.5 and -110. I almost went with the over in the Yankee-Astro game, but I give it a second thought. But I'm going to lay the 1.5 with the Seattle Mariners on the run line -1.5 at home against the A's for my best bet of the day. All right, so that's it for today's show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything from today, looking ahead to everything tomorrow. And then obviously news and notes and best bet as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.